No!
Hey, I'm Mike Novak, and this is the director's commentary for Unlock the Door. Looking at the introduction screen, the production screen, it's basically 4 different puzzle pieces, 4 different silhouettes. And each of those is a different color, which represents me and each of my kids, because we're color-coded. And we start off... we start off outside, establish the location, and you hear some crows in the background. Those are just animals that are around this area, but it sounded cool, so I used it. As soon as you get into the first scene, sweeping the floors, that's all got the original sound to it, but it's also got sound effects layered on top to give it a little bit more definition. And there's a spot where I say raise. Alright, raise. I was talking to the camera guy, but I was supposed to actually do some dialogue replacement with that to say sit down and thank you, good job to the kids. Going outside, smoking a cigarette, the door closing, that audio was completely separate, and what I did was I used the very center of the audio to split the cut. How I worked the pacing was I counted the footsteps. And, I counted how long did it take me to step up to the door and how long did it take me to step away. And I really tried to pace the footsteps in a way that it seemed natural. Same thing, lighter, that was extra audio. The cigarette burning, that was actually the cellophane.
If I don't quit these,
kind of
they're gonna quit me.
And then I added drums too to give it kind of a suspenseful continuity, and actually in the beginning, with the intro I have a little bit of synth going on. And the only thing that's for is to provide continuity. It's not really in key with the tone of the story, but it does add a little bit of continuity going underneath everything. Same thing with the drums. I did the drums and I actually tried to build those up.
He's not a man, he's just a boy.
To the beats in the story. The way I came upon this story was I was having problems with my kids locking the door. And it's kind of hard to explain to them that there's important times where you just need to listen. You don't have time to explain. So the keys moving, they actually symbolize the tension in the story. So if you notice at the very end, in the first time you get to the keys and grab them off the rack, they're sitting there swinging just a little bit. They're starting to move. But at the end, they're actually shaking quite a bit. I took that little footage of him getting in the car, and that's actually him getting out. And I just clipped a little part of it and played it backwards, and I added the sound effects of the car starting to kind of finish that little piece. And the sound effects for the water jug, I had to make it seem like it was hot outside somehow. The colors really didn't do a whole lot for that. If you look at like the POV, he's looking at me outside the window, it's completely blown out. So, I use dialogue, a little bit too much dialogue, and I use the sound effects, emphasis on the water, because I'm sitting there gulping water. That's all me just pouring it down the sink or something. Doing audio in Premiere Pro is just not the way to go.
Come on, it's too hot.
You have to do an audition.
Can you unlock the door?
There's not as much precision in Premiere.
This is my car.
When you're trying to line up your audio, and it's just a click off. If you look when I come in
we're done.
from setting the keys on the rack after the car scene.
Son, you really gotta stop
You can
locking
hear it
those
click
doors.
twice.
It's not a game.
Kind of works, but to me it stands out because it's wrong. And if you go into Logic Pro or you have Adobe Audition, you can sync those up identically, right to the like thousandth of a millisecond or something, and it's way better. I have the sound effects of a page turning, and it doesn't stand out. The audio wasn't that good. But if I would have swiped the page with it and had the audio, it would have made a lot more sense.
Diana ran to the front door, screaming in terror as a manicore flew above.
The hell was that?
When I go into the hallway and I check on the rooms, the continuity doesn't really match. I'm turning left to look at the front door, and then I'm turning right. Now, if I would have flipped that image upside down, nobody really knows what my house looks like. Or not upside down, but backwards. If I would have reflected it. Nobody knows what my house looks like. So if I was turning left and then turning left into that hallway as well, it would have matched up a lot better. I left one of the lights were off. And that kind of accounts for the kid that comes and locks the door. It leaves that open because the audience doesn't actually see the child sleeping in bed. Go outside, and one of the biggest things you notice right away is the color difference. There's a difference between color, quality of me sitting on the couch and reading from the previous shots, because it was all done at different times. But what I wanted for the POV shot for the monster was to make it look like he could see me very easily at nighttime. And everything else just kind of worked. The color was way off, but it kind of worked. And I guess it did good enough to get the story across. But then I go into a Dutch tilt, show everything's off. But what I added in post-production was a pull to it, so that it's got a little bit of movement to match the shot before and the shot after. Because going from a really fast pace to a completely static shot just doesn't work quite as well as just a little bit of movement in there to give it some edge.
No.
That's about it. So what do I like about the film? It made my kids laugh. It made them stop locking the doors on me, and it was a learning experience for sure. Damn
Kids.